course. The
Hello.
track is 3.21 miles in length. It
Hello.
consists of 18 turns, several different technical sessions, and then you followed by straights between 6 and turn 10, basically, and then turn 12 through 14, and then again on the front straight out of 17 all the way to 1. So you got a couple long straights there. You got some twisties in between. You can lose contact fairly easily in those little twisties, and you better be within the 9 tenths or so, or you probably won't catch up, especially if the person in front of you has a draft as well. The great course. It's my home course. I enjoy it a whole lot. The layout's about 10 years old, probably or so, on the scan on it, maybe a little bit older. So some of the run out areas are different, and Oak Tree is gone. So if you've ran VIR in person, you know it's a little bit different now. You definitely have to adjust for this older layout on it. Also, VIR was paved about 3 or 4 years ago as well. So while it's nearly the same, there are some differences in there. So hope you enjoy this. Again, Sunday Night Skippy League. It runs at our races run at 9 p.m. on Sunday evenings. Yeah, that's Eastern time, and everyone's welcome. Doesn't matter what time zone you're in, where you're at. If you want to join, we get a good strength of field of racers in there. We have some 5,000 plus IR ratings to some guys are just approaching 1,000. They're still trying different cars out. Everyone races pretty fairly. There's we do some teaching in there. We're not there to it's competitive. People are trying to win the championship for the season, but at the same time, we're also realizing we want to be kind of a good steward for the Skippy community and get more racers in and get more people involved in on the track. So this lap that I'm showing today, the weather is what was it, 78 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 25.55 C. That's the air. The track temp is 120 degrees, and it is 48.88 C. Winds were west at 7 miles per hour. The track temp actually went up to I think 121 or 122. I think when the laps were being done here. Uh, so it seems like it was pretty hot. I think as those temperatures drop, we'll see some better times in here and everything else. So throughout the week it could change. This was a public, or actually it was a hosted session. Martin Cruz jumped in here. He's always one of the faster guys that were out there. He ran a 2:08.423. I think he may have had an off track on that lap. But still blistering lap. I ran a 2:08.44. I had caught up to Martin out of Oak Tree and got a good draft about halfway down the back stretch, which gave me 3 or 4 tenths on there. The lap I'm showing you is actually a 2:08.97, I believe. That's the one I'm going to walk through, and we'll go through that and get a chance to take a look at it. Setup: I'm running 53% brake bias, as I tell you guys every week. I mean that's kind of about where I'm at. I'll move up and down a little bit. The spring perch offset is 5, and the anti-roll bar setting is 8. Nothing special on that. Tire pressure is I think as low as it goes. So that's how it goes. So let's go through and we'll take a trip around the course. We'll just do a chase view, let everyone take a look at it, see what you're seeing on here, and then we'll go from there and uh, go and I'll walk you through it. So here we go.
Sorry about that, Adam.
right, so that's a lap around. That's the chase view. We'll go into cockpit, and we'll just go through this lap now. Give you a couple ideas of how I take it and what I do and everything else. So this is coming out of hog pen. Um, Nothing extremely special out of this. Uh, Coming down, I'm hugging the right as I come down here.
Sorry about that, Adam.
Stay to the right all the way down here. I start straightening out here to get to the left-hand side of the track. I'm going to come down here. Actually, you can see right here I'm coming off the brake right about the 3 marker. You can push this a little bit further. You're just a little bit more consistent at the 3 marker. I get all the way almost to the 2, and I can really hammer the brakes and get around there. It's a little bit of time I can gain on there, but it's you're pushing it so far on the edge. You're right at the point of being able to slide off that track. So I think top times you'll see people braking a little bit closer to that 2 marker. Here I'm braking, at the 3 marker, just before the 3 marker. Coming down, you'll see the turn in starting right here. It's turning starting just after that 1 marker. Getting turn in, some rotation, a little bit of counter steering. You're coming up on that curb, and as soon as you get off there, reaching kind of, as soon as you come up and you get on that curb and you mount it, you start hitting the throttle on there. You're going to accelerate out, come back to the right, and then aim kind of straight towards the left here. Idea is, I've done this a couple different ways, and each time I don't know, it's just a little bit different as far as how it feels for me, whatever I'm coming in here. So this is, turn 2. I like to, whenever I'm on this track and we're doing track days, I stay fairly far left, kind of shoot kind of straight off of this. I'm finding that if I widen it up a little bit, I get a little bit better rotation into this turn 3. So as you come out, you see I'm coming a little bit wide. I'm doing a downshift. I'm doing slight trail braking through here, and then I start getting back on that throttle right when I get to that apex. Then you're going to aim straight down this right hand side, right about where I see this mark. This one's kind of tough here. There's not a lot of brake markers. So I see this mark here, and then as soon as I see the skid mark that's right here, that's where I'm starting to get on the brakes. So you can see, I just see this here. You'll see me come off the throttle, split second later, getting on the brakes, starting that turn in. I'm having the brakes, and I'm just starting to trail them off a little bit, and I'm also downshifting at this point. In just a second you'll see the downshift comes in here. If I stay into second, I'm a little bit faster. I found out a little bit later in the session. I pull like a tenth on here if I stay in second gear, if I can hold the speed. You see, I went into second. If I can stay in, or first, if I stay into second, I'm good. You want to come in as soon as you turn. You want to get enough speed. You don't need to get all the way over to the left. You'll be about mid-track. Then you're almost immediately is turning right, and you want to get your right-hand tires right over on this this apex and all the way on the curbing if you can. I don't get quite that much on here. When I was staying in second gear, I was taking a little bit more of that curbing on there, which would push me all the way out to the left on here. Also I'm back up into second gear in this lap. That's because I did drop to 1. It's like I'm at 1 for a split second and then immediately going back up to 2. If you stay into second, you can stay into second, have it floored all the way through here. You're turning and you're sliding out to the left all the way to the white line, and then what you're going to end up doing is you actually turn in again, so you never unwind the wheel all the way. You want to then take and get the apex here of turn 5A. It's turn 5 that's in here. This is like the 5A, B, C sort of complex through here, or I should say 5A and B, and then 6A and B. So you can see I start turning a little bit more. I'm going to get my right-hand tires over that curb. You can take a little bit more curb, I think, even than that, and not get a off track there. You got to be careful coming off on the left-hand side. You do want to get this wheel straight as quickly as you can. Notice still full throttle. You want to get the wheel as straight as you can. You don't take too much on this left hand, cut that curb too much. You will get an off track on there. So you can take just a little bit of it. You get out too much in that dirt and you'll get an off track. You want to keep the wheel as straight as you can down here, full throttle all the way, and just go full throttle flat out as straight line as you can to get to the uphill S's. So this is going to be turn 7 on here. And you'll see I kind of come mid-track and kind of gently go through. I try to draw a straight line through here. If you see the marks, there's a whole lot of weaving back and forth. I've seen some other drivers weave a little bit. And I don't really see that I catch up to them a whole lot, but you do have to be careful about scrubbing any speed with your turns. So you do want to take and get up onto these curbs quite a bit as you go through here. Uh, I wasn't having any issues taking too much curb, but I do. I'm pretty sure in this. I think in MX5 is the only one I've ran here before, and I think in that if you get a little bit too much curb, it will kind of throw you off kilter at one point. So you got to be a little bit careful of taking too much curb. I didn't have any uh, off tracks through this, but you see I'm all the way on the curb. I'm full throttle. I'm getting up on this curb again. I'm full throttle up on this curb, full throttle. As soon as you kind of get out of this, you want to turn in and try to hit the curb on the right hand side just a little bit. The back end will slide out a little bit, but you don't want it to slide out too much because you will lose some speed. So you anticipate that. You saw that slight bit of counter steer that you have in here that I know it's going to come out, just slight bit of counter steer. You want to stay to the right here, and this is where whenever you're coming, this is where a lot of people lose a lot of speed because it's a blind left-hand corner. You've got to turn in somewhat early. I don't even know where my marker is on this. I just kind of know where it is. It's kind of like that. I don't know. It's like this little. It's like this little dip that you can see. You can see the little squiggly line here, little squiggle right here. That's kind of where I'm coming off the gas a little bit. I might even touch the brake. When the tires are perfectly warm, you can go through without touching the brake. And I do a downshift and then full throttle almost again. You're going to come all the way out to the left on here. So if you see when you're coming through, this is a very important corner for speed. So you can see I'm hitting that curb right here. Um, I'm getting on it right when it comes up there. You won't get a 0x doing that. I stay on it. It pushes me all the way to the right. This has enough that it will kind of stop you from going too far. It looks like you're going too fast, and it's almost like you're literally hitting a curb that's just going to hold you in. It's kind of nice, but you do have to be careful. And if you go out here, get that wheel straight as fast as you can and just go straight. Don't try to turn back in, or you will end up in the tire wall on the left. So you're going to shoot straight down here. I struggle a little bit when I come down here. I know I want to be to the left, but I also don't want to get into the dirt over here. So I'm coming to the left. You can see I'm starting to get into the brakes right at that 2 marker. I'm starting to get in the brakes. I'm slowing down, coming in, hitting the apex on here, and then I'm going to track way out to the left, and you'll see the trail brake still going through here. I get on the throttle just a little bit there. I want to shoot kind of straight off into the curb on the left. You don't want to get too much curb because as the car rotates, that can hit the grass and can spin out, but you want to have it to where your car rotates and gets on that curb if at all possible. Because what you're going to do is you're going to turn in, and as you hit the throttle, look how close you are to that right hand side. You're going to try to get as much dirt as you can over here. I got on the gas slightly early, so I think I have to lift slightly when I'm coming out of this. If I would have waited, another 2 or 3 feet, I would have been fine on there. But see, I lift slightly and then get that wheel straight as possible. As soon as you get on that curb, you do not want to be turning and have that back end hit that dirt. It will kick you out and slow you down. You're then going straight on here, all the way down. This is a long straight. You'll have passing opportunities on here if you get a good drive out of Oak Tree. That was Oak Tree we just came out of turn 12. Coming way down here, you're going to hit all the way up to here. Now this is, if you're staying to the right on here, people are going to have to try to pass you on the left. If you can maintain your position on the right, you're in a pretty good spot because the person on the left will typically slide a little bit wide there. So this is the one where you definitely want to be on the right. You don't want to let people get into you on the right-hand side going into this. I'm going to come off the throttle right past this turn marker here, the last marker. I get off the throttle. I start getting a little bit of brakes, not too heavy, downshifting, heavier brakes right into here. I continue my downshift, and as you can see, I'm trying to catch that rotation that I got a little bit with the car, and then I'm slowing down because I've got to get right into this corner. This is another one where I believe I go into first gear again on this. If I stay into second, I can carry a little bit more speed, have a little bit better time in here. Getting you can see I mean it's almost as soon as I get on the gas I'm on the rev limiter. So second is good through here. Come track out all the way to the left, hit that curb just slightly, and then you're going to track way out to the right. You're going to touch the curb right at the end down here, and then you're staying way to the right over here. This is one where you're going to let off the gas about when you reach mid track. You want to try to stay as left as you can. Be careful on here. This is, you can't take much more of the left hand side here without getting an off track on here. And as you can see, I have a slight brake, I downshift, and then I'm going to go full throttle fairly soon in here. Full throttle, stay to your right, track out slightly just to not get the tire spin, and then come to your right again all the way through here. I'm going to go back here because this one, it is very important. If you're not on throttle when you come through, if you're not in throttle right here, when you sit at the bottom of this hill, it's a big drop off right here. I don't know if you can see a rear chase. Um, you can see it's a big drop off there, so you get a lot of compression of the suspension, and it really wants to turn in there. The problem is if you come off that gas, the back end will come out. So you do need to be on the gas as you come through there. You can lift slightly if you start tracking too far that you're going to go off track to the left. You can lift just slightly on it, but you should really be going full throttle through there, all the way to the end. Um, and again, this is where you're going to get people that are drafting. The advantage is to be on the inside line through here, so you don't want to open up too much on the right hand side. People will put your nose in here, and they will try to drive into turn one and basically take the position. If you stay on the right, come out the last second, it helps a whole lot as far as protecting that position if you're in a race, because that is quite a long stretch there. So that's the full course, 3.27 miles. Great track. It's probably one of my favorite tracks. It's a lot of fun. I haven't raced it in the Skippy, so it's going to be very interesting racing Skippy. I think it was the North course in the Skippy. I don't think I've ever done the full course. I think it's always been the MX5. So again, if you want to look at and get more information, more articles on Skippy and trying to improve and get faster, go to 2labsracing.com. Once again, it's 2labsracing.com. Occasionally I'm on Twitch. I haven't been doing as much, just been busy with things. We're also doing the Sunday night skippies, as I mentioned earlier. It's for all skill levels. Come out, join us. If you're not comfortable racing, you can practice up the hour before until you start getting comfortable. Ask for help. There's more than people who ask for help. We have a Discord community that is very active. People are on it all the time. You can get in there and do that. And then one thing that's upcoming, I'm going to probably run in the Lotus 79. I found that car. I don't know why I never used it before. It is awesome. It feels just like the Skippy except for more horsepower. So I'm going to start running that a little bit more and hopefully doing some tutorials as soon as I get some time to do so. But again, join us Sunday Night Skippy League. I hope this helps with everyone. Again, 2labsracing.com. Take a look at it. If you have any comments, suggestions, ask them. I do have the gear shift that you can see in the bottom right hand corner as we're going through this. That was something that people requested. I got that put in there, so you can take a look and see what gear I am as I go through. Also see the my throttle and everything, my inputs that are going on there. Also, I use iSpeed. Typically try to get iSpeed uploaded so that people can look at my data and I look at other people's data and try to find those last few tenths on the track. It's not as many people as there used to be, but get on there. You guys can look at my time. I learn from people that are slower than me because they're faster in some areas, and people learn from me. I'm faster in other areas. So it's a great tool to use. It's free. You don't pay anything for it. And I know a couple people had downloaded it and they said, oh, it looks like we have to pay. You have to donate, I think, to get rid of ads. Other than that, it's free. I'm not affiliated. I get nothing from it. I just find it as an easy tool to use. So enjoy. You guys have a great week of racing, and we'll see you next week. Oh, probably next week you will not see a Nords video. I get to skip that one. It's probably my least favorite just because I always seem to get collected by people behind me in the first 3 or 4 turns, and it's frustrating. So, hope you guys enjoy it, but you probably will not see a video from me on that. Have a good evening. Thanks.